Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Stack Sats Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. What's up, McLovin? Round of applause from the live studio audience for McLovin, BTC Backpacker, and Carlos Armillo, and Leonard. What up, boys? Thanks for tuning in. Man, my allergies are killing me. My eyes look so crazy. Woo. I went out on Saturday and fished all day outside in nature. And then yesterday I went out to the park with the boys. And everything is blooming. So there's a bunch of flowers and pollen everywhere. And I am feeling it right now. Actually, I'm gonna close my window. Give me a second. I took allergy medicine, but damn, it's kicking my butt. It's kicking my butt. All right, so we're here on our new schedule. We have some time to talk about, some Bitcoin. If this is your first time here, welcome to the show. We are a Bitcoin only show, beginner friendly. I keep the cursing to a minimum, if not to zero, so that you can watch with your kids in the background and you don't have to worry about having to explain to them the words that people are using on the stream. Okay. Also, I kind of stay away from politics and any of that kind of stuff because it's divisive. And my only goal here is to teach you about Bitcoin, to get you interested in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the best way to build wealth, to secure your future. Okay? And today we're going to talk about how much Bitcoin do you need to retire in 2025. Okay? So that's the topic for today's show. That is the goal. And let's get into the first segment of the show that we like to call the Sat Strength. Mr. Android, let's go. Good morning. Okay, here we go. Today, the price of Bitcoin is $66,515.16. It's pretty good. Take it. And we're once again so close to sub 1,500 Satoshis for a single dollar. There it is. 1,500 Satoshis for a single dollar. It's crazy. What's a sat? What does a sats mean? Sats per fiat. What's a sat? A sat is short for Satoshi. A Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin. Just like a dollar has 100 cents, a Bitcoin is composed of 100 million Satoshis. So it's highly divisible. Don't be discouraged by the Bitcoin price. Don't think you need to save up $66,000 to buy a Bitcoin. You can start saving in Bitcoin today with as little as 5, 10, even $1 if you can find the exchange to buy that much sats from. Or you can even buy Bitcoin from your friendly local Bitcoiner at your local Bitcoin meetups. Okay? So, round of applause from the live studio audience for Mr. Android and Hard Huddle. What up, boys? Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, just like that. All right, so let's say you're walking down the street minding your own business. You look down, you see a penny, you pick it up, and all the day today you can get 15 Satoshis for a single penny. When we started doing the show, we're getting 39, sometimes over 40 Satoshis per penny. But now we're all the way to 15 sats per penny. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. That is the Sat Strength. Do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be real. Dudes, my bros. Hit that like button on the way in so we can get some more people in here. This is our new schedule. 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. Maybe catching you on your drive home. Let me know what you guys are up to. McLovin says, I think at least the whole coin if you can wait 10 years, maybe less. Okay. Roman, have you been stacking or slacking? I've been stacking, McLovin. Stacking. Okay. Let's talk about, the next topic. Why we stack. The Why We Stack segment, we're gonna check out some videos and check out some memes. But before we jump into that, let me just tell you why we stack. It's really simple, okay? Why we save in Bitcoin. We save in Bitcoin because saving in Bitcoin is like giving yourself a continuously growing retroactive raise for the hours you've already worked for as long as you can hold the Bitcoin that represents those hours worked in value. Okay? That is exactly why we stack. Okay? Because we all understand that there's no way that you can work more efficiently, that you can work faster, that you can work harder or hard enough to beat the money printer. Okay? We're past $34.5 trillion in debt, right? And the interest rate is high, and we're not making enough to even cover the cost of our interest on the national debt. So in essence, the dollar has already died. It's already crashed. It's crashing. It's dying. Okay? There's no way to reverse that at this point. Okay? They're just going to try to extend it and delay it as long as possible. But eventually it's going to get to the point where they can't delay it long enough, right? The dollar's going to hyperinflate. It'll be worth nothing. And anything denominated in dollars will also be worth nothing. Okay? If you take that value, swap it into Bitcoin instead, then the system is now actually working for you instead of stealing from you. It's making you more wealthy by that same mechanic. Okay? It's like an inverse. It's like the reverse card on. It's like playing it's like playing Uno and slapping the reverse card. Bam. Okay. It's to the -1. Let's go. To the -1 power. The inverse. Smash those likes, says BTC Backpacker. Thanks, BTC Backpacker. Hey, guys, we had a super awesome session on Friday. If you didn't tune in, it was awesome. We got to talk to Carlos. I got to talk to BTC Backpacker. I got to talk to Hard Hodl. And Garrett jumped in there as well. It was super fun. So much fun, actually, that we might even do it again. Maybe not every week, but maybe let's do it. What was that? That was the middle of the week, right? Here's what let's do it. Second Friday of each month. Second Friday of each month will be the Stacker Lounge episode, where anybody can jump in and be part of the conversation. We're gonna do that once a month, okay? So second Friday of each month. So next time it'll be May 10th. May 10th, we'll do another Stacker Lounge episode where we jump on here and talk about Bitcoin. And maybe if you guys want to do cameras, I don't know if you guys want to do cameras, you can put on a mask or do a face. We'll put the Discord display up here so people can see kind of who's talking, okay? So we'll do that for upcoming episodes. Again, second Friday of each month. So the next one is May 10th, Stacker Lounge. You get to be part of the conversation. You get to jump on the show and talk about whatever you want to talk about Bitcoin related and the journey, you know? And it was super fun to be able to speak with people that are on that same path and just kind of listen to everybody's different perspectives, different countries, different parts of the world. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. All right. So now that we know what the set strength is and what, oh yeah, let's do some of these videos. Let's get pumped. Let's get hyped. Okay. Remember to stay tuned because we're gonna watch another. We're actually gonna stack today as well. Okay. So for starters, let's have a little fun and check out these memes. I need a meme review thing, but memes. Let's go. Oops, wrong one. There you go, screen. All right, this is a funny one. This is from eggplant_Elon, not that Elon. It says good morning, GM, and it has a this it's a pretty well known meme template these days. It says, so now that the halving is over, what do you guys do now? Like Bitcoiners, right? And this guy says, okay, we just sit around and talk about the next halving. Let's go. Of course, we're gonna stack all day. All right, so that's pretty good. I like that one. All right, we have this other one from Cedric Youngelman. He's got a show. It's called the Bitcoin Matrix. Go check his stuff out. It just says friendly reminder that post halving faces are going to melt /Bitcoin. Let's see. Face melting gains. Right? Okay. And okay, here's another one about we're gonna don't worry. We're gonna jump into why how much Bitcoin you need to retire in 2025. Okay, don't worry. We're gonna jump into that first before we buy. Okay. Let's see. This is a post from Swan. Price at the first halving was $12. A year later was $964. Pretty cool. Okay. Price of the at the second halving was $663. 1 year later, it was 2,550. Okay. Price of the third halving was 8,740. And 1 year later, it was 55,801. It's pretty amazing. And now today, this last halving, the price was at 63,300 was the price at the halving. And to be determined is what the price will be 1 year later, right? But the thing I noticed is you take this number here, right? It's in the tens, right? And this number here is now you add a zero, right? It's in the hundreds now, right? This number here, add another zero, it's in the thousands, single thousands, right? And then this number, add another zero, and now it's in the tens of thousands, right? So if that add a zero trend continues, then we'll be in the hundreds of thousands range by the time we get to the next halving, right? So it's pretty cool. It seems like it adds a zero every 4 years. So that's pretty impressive, right? And I can't wait for the 1 year later price pump. This is like the beginning of the real like parabolic move, right? That's what's in store for us, right? It's pretty dang impressive. It's pretty dang impressive. All right, here's another post by Coinicarus over on Pleb Underground is their YouTube channel. It's just making fun of people fighting over who does what for Bitcoin, right? They're like, it's a standoff. He's like, how many noobs have you onboarded, bruh? So how many podcasts have you been on, bruh? So, I mean, there's no need to compare and see who's done more for Bitcoin. All you gotta do is just orange pill whomever you can, whenever you can. It's all good. No need to keep track. Just do what you want. Just do what you gotta do, right? It's so funny. But anyway, I thought it was pretty funny. I love South Park. All right, here we go. This one is kind of like a cost of living thing, right? / just a little reality check. Okay, it's from BTC Cosmonaut. He says, odds are you will be wealthier renting and only saving your down payment in Bitcoin. So instead of saving and putting a down payment on a house that you can barely afford and having to make huge payments and being kind of like a slave to that property and the taxes on it and all the expenses that come along with owning property, you could just save the down payment you're going to put on that house, rent, and you're more free to move around, and that down payment is going to do a lot more work for you than putting that down payment down on a bigger loan, right? Because if you end up defaulting on that home, you lose that home, you lose your down payment, and you have terrible credit, right? So here's the math. On average, priced home is $400,000. It's not in California. After I dropped off the kids at school, there was a house down the street from the school. What up, Carl? Round of applause from the live studio audience for Carl. Hit that like button on the way in, boys. We're at 9 concurrent viewers. This is awesome. Okay, there was this house. I kid you not. It's just it's a double car garage house. It's been remodeled. It's 4 bedrooms. I think it might be 2-story, but it's like small. It's a small house, like on a small lot. Little backyard, decent front yard. And so the price on it is listed for I saw the for sale sign outside, and just out of curiosity I looked it up. It was listed for $1.5 million. $1.5 million for like the most basic house you can think of. Just like a basic house, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, Basic house, dude. Basic house. Like not like a mansion or anything like that, just a basic house. Right? $1.5 million. And they reduced the price to like 1.49 or something like that last month. Right? I'm like, who's gonna pay that much for that house? It's ridiculous. And on top of that, the crazy high interest rate of like 7 or 8%, your payments are gonna be like $10,000 or $8,000 a month for a house, just like the most averagest house, right? It's an average house. It's not like the worst neighborhood, but it's not like the best neighborhood, right? So it just doesn't make sense. It's just out of control. Anyway, let's get back to this post. An average price home not in California is $400,000 with interest after 30 years at the current rate. The total cost for a $400,000 home plus interest will be $770,000. In 30 years with CAGR of 10%, typical for real estate, your property will be worth $6.9 million. Right now, the 20% down payment for the home will get you 1.26 Bitcoin. Renting for 30 years will cost you $678,000. But with CAGR 20% low for Bitcoin, your 1.26 Bitcoin from that down payment will be worth $18.9 million, right? So it just makes more sense. That's a difference, right? Plus, this is probably not even accounting for all the taxes you have to pay, the insurance, and insurance keeps going up, right? Doubling your returns from real estate. Is it worth it? Here's the thing, right? It's pretty wild. Cost of rent, cost to buy is so high, right? So it's pretty wild. Pretty insane. Is a tiny house on wheels. I've been living tiny for 7 years. House is paid off. There you go. That works. All right, this is a funny one from Sean Harris. He says, it might make sense to get some in case it catches on. Bitcoin quote. I think it's one of Satoshi's quotes or one of the Satoshi's team's quotes. And he says, Bitcoiner, why should I buy Bitcoin? No coiner, why should I buy Bitcoin? Bitcoiner, it was up 160% in 2023 and is up 50% this year. A no coiner, and then you have the no coiners expression like, holy smokes, I'm missing out. Right? All right, keep it going. This is this is from Oz. I am bear hunter. I'm a bear hunter. There goes. I'm a bear hunter. This is why we Bitcoin. Ooh, perfect. The banking system explained in under 2 minutes. Let's listen to this legend once again. Here we go. Ready? Listen up.
It is my opinion that you do not really understand the concept of banking. All the banks are broke. Bank Santander, Deutsche Bank, Royal Bank of Scotland, they're all broke. And why are they broke? It isn't an act of God. It isn't some sort of tsunami. They're broke because we have a system called fractional reserve banking, which means that banks can lend money that they don't actually have. It's a criminal scandal, and it's been going on for too long. To add to that problem, you have moral hazard, a very significant moral hazard from the political sphere. And most of the problem starts in politics and central banks, which are part of the same political system. We have counterfeiting, sometimes called quantitative easing, but counterfeiting by any other name. The artificial printing of money, which if any ordinary person did, they'd go to prison for a very long time. And yet governments and central banks do it all the time. Central banks repress the amount of interest that rates are, so we don't have the real cost of money. And yet we blame the real retail banks for manipulating LIBOR. The sheer effrontery of this is quite astonishing. It's central banks that manipulate interest rates, Commissioner. And plus, underneath all this, we talk loosely, in a rather cavalier fashion, do we not, about deposit guarantees. So when banks go broke through their own incompetence and chicanery, the taxpayer picks up the tab. It's theft from the taxpayer. And until we start sending bankers, and I include central bankers and politicians, to prison for this out.
Damn, straight up. Guy knows what's up. Exactly what's going on. It's exactly what's going on. Okay? And finally, the last clip of this section we're going to go into. The Giga Chad himself. Michael Saylor here, Swan Bitcoin put out this one. Says your money is being confiscated right now. Your money is being confiscated right now. This is why we Bitcoin, boys. Let's go. Here we go.
In theory, if it had been property, they would have had to pass a law seizing 90% of the property of everybody in the country. That would not be so popular, right? To seize the property. And if they wanted to seize 90% of the property of everything in the country, they would have had to subpoena a court in New York or Delaware and get my appearance, right? And there would have been 3, 4, 5 years of lawsuits going on. And if you really wanted to take something, you have to kidnap everybody and take them to jail and sweat their private keys out of them. And that's not very practical, right? So at the end of the day, it's not likely that the governments of all the world will just confiscate 90% of your crypto assets or your Bitcoin. But in fact, it's a foregone conclusion that they're definitely going to compensate 90% of your currency, right? It's happening at 1% a month or 2% a month right now. So all you got to do is wait between 5 and 10 years and you're going to lose 90% of your money if it's in a currency or a currency derivative. And they don't even have to pass a law. In theory, if it had been,
son, that's straight up truth in your face. It's so sad. That last part is just incredible. Like, yeah, you're losing your money at least 1% a month, something like that, 1 or 2% a month. Yeah, and without doing anything more, it's the fix is already in, right? They don't have to do anything else. They don't have to change any laws. The current system is already set up to take all of your wealth. Well, 90% of your wealth in about 10 years, right? It's pretty insane. So that's why we stack extended version of the stack segment, and we're gonna keep going, okay? Because now we're actually gonna talk about how much Bitcoin you need to save, you need to have to retire in 2025. Okay, let's jump into this browser. I love this little thing. It's called the Wenmoon. Okay, I'm gonna put this link in the chat. You guys could go start messing with it and run your own numbers. But it's a calculator. It's not, don't take this as gospel. It's just the estimation, okay? Based on the current price of Bitcoin and the expected inflation and the annual Bitcoin appreciation rate, which can vary, right? And we're going to plug in some different numbers to try to figure out how much Bitcoin you need to retire in 2025, okay? But let's go over the variables first. This is how many Bitcoin you have or are saving towards. This is how much you want to make as a salary if you were to basically sell your Bitcoin a little bit at a time, right? This example assumes that once you get to your retirement date, you're gonna sell your Bitcoin to live off your Bitcoin, right? But there's other ways to monetize that Bitcoin. You don't have to worry about selling it now. Just for now, for this example, it's saying that you could live off of your Bitcoin by selling a little bit at a time. Once you get to a certain point in your stack amount, stack quantity, okay? And then here we have the annual USD supply increase, in other words, inflation, right? And 12.2 might be pretty accurate. Let's just go with 11 to make it, let's do the defaults for now, okay? So here it tells you, okay, if you stack one Bitcoin, your actual stack value is the price of Bitcoin today, right? And it's gonna say if you just hold that Bitcoin, that one Bitcoin at this, with all these other variables in place, the annual Bitcoin appreciation rate is 34% and the inflation rate is 12.2%. Then if you can hodl that until November 6th, 2035, then from that point forward, that is your moon date, you can actually start selling off your Bitcoin a little bit at a time and be able to have an income of about $100,000 a year, right? So let's try to get this number down to 2025. Okay, want to know when you missed the link? I just put it in the chat. I want to type it in one more time. You might have a filter on because last time you couldn't see the links either. Okay, let's put in. Let's see. Let's say that you want to retire 2025, right? But you do want to keep that $100,000 salary, okay? So let's see if you could do it with 2 Bitcoins. How long it'll take to retire with 2 Bitcoins, okay? So that goes in, and the time will change to January 2032. If you're holding 2 Bitcoins and you want to retire with $100,000 salary, okay? Let's bump this up to 4 Bitcoins because that's not enough yet. Okay, so let's see. That is 3428. That's not bad. Okay, 4 years from now to retire. Not bad. What's up, Andrew? Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the stream. Do me a favor, guys. There's 11 people watching and 7 likes. Hit that like button so we can get some more people in here to check it out. So if you're holding 4 Bitcoin and everything else is staying the same, where you're looking to spend about $100,000 a year from that Bitcoin, then by the year 2028, you'll be able to retire and basically live out your days by selling off your stack to support yourself, right? Let's get this. Let's get the number of Bitcoins up so we can get that 2025 date. Let's see. So let's do 6 Bitcoin. 6 Bitcoin. And now we're looking at, there it is. So at the end of, if you're holding 6 Bitcoins now, everything else being the same, at the end of 2025, December 5th, 2025, you'll be able to retire. It's pretty damn awesome, right? Yeah, 2025. So so right now, in order to retire in 2025, it'll take about 6 Bitcoin. Okay, but now let's look at the other variables. Okay, if you're holding 6 Bitcoin, you can retire by the end of the year. Okay, now what if I want to make 200,000 a year, or if I want to be able to spend 200,000 a year, I want to live a little bit more lavishly. Okay, live in a lavish life. So we'll put that we want to spend 200,000 a year, and that pushes out our date to, let's see, where is it? That pushes out our date to, where did it go? Okay, it should be down here somewhere. What? Am I missing it? I'm not seeing our date. What up, Garrett? Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the stream. Hit that like button on the way in, please. Where's the date? Oh, there it is. So if you want to make twice as much, if you want to be able to spend twice as much money, because say for example you live in an expensive area and you want to live, above your well above your means, and you want to be able to spend $200,000 worth of money each year. Yeah, I know. I finally saw it. Sorry about that. So there it is. You'd have to have about, let's see, let's do 8 Bitcoin. I mean, that's a lot of people these days won't have 8 Bitcoin, right? Is it 8? Nope. 10. Getting close. 11. Nope. Even still, 12 Bitcoin. That's a lot. Yeah. Okay. If you wanted to basically live with twice as, be able to retire and spend about $200,000 a year, then you have to stack about 12 Bitcoin between, if you want to retire in 2025. Okay. But let's just say that you maybe don't want to live in a place that's that expensive, right? A lot of people don't have one exactly. So let's go to that example, Mr. Android. Let's go to the 1 Bitcoin mark. Boom. Okay. If you're saving for 1 Bitcoin and you're trying to live $200,000 a day, that's a lot of money, right? Your moon date won't come until 2039. Okay. But I'll live off 25K a year and be good. Okay, so BTC Backpacker, you're hitting on the point that I'm going to go to next. Okay, so let's set this back to 100,000. Okay, and now your moon date drops to 2035. It's a little bit better, right? But what if we start to look at different places to live, like I don't know. I'm gonna just use an example of Mexico, right? Because it's close to the U.S. It's easy to and not easy, but it's easier to get to from the United States and to get back to the United States if you want to do something. On average, an average salary for Mexico is 350,000 pesos. Okay, when converted to U.S. dollars, it's about $17,000 yearly. Okay, so it would be safe to say that you could live off $50,000. You're basically be making twice as much as the average salary, right? A little bit under twice as much as the average salary, right? And that gets you to about 2032 if you want to live in Mexico or an economy like that. And there's also other things to consider, right? Let's put this back to 100,000. 100,000. Other things to consider are also, well, here on this field it says annual Bitcoin appreciation rate, and 34.4% seems kind of conservative, I think, right? So I went through and actually found the Bitcoin annual appreciation rate, and it's pretty intense. So over the past 5 years, 10 years, 3 years, 1 year, right? And the percentages are pretty good. The percentages are bigger than the percentages you get. Here we go. Like, yeah, over 15 years, it's up a whole ton, but we're not going to use that metric. But maybe 10 years ago, okay, 2.51. That's okay. This one's 2.941. But you can round it up. You can round it. You can round it. You can round it and get the where is it? Oh, there it is. The Bitcoin in the last 10 years, the Bitcoin's commodity obtained a 64.86 compound annual return with a 76.95 standard deviation. Okay, so let's just use this number. Okay, we'll do 64.8. So 64.8. This doubles this 64.8, and now with just one Bitcoin, again trying to make 100,000 a year. It's in 2027, right? And it's 2024, right? That's not that far off. That's not that far off with one Bitcoin. Okay. Now let's say you factor in that, yeah, you're not going to live in the US. You're going to find another place to live where it's like cheaper. And you go down to the 50,000 a year mark. And guess what? You can retire at the end of the year. Well, at the end of the next year, 2025, right? If the place you're going to live at, like for example, in my example, I wanted to check out Mexico. Again, average salary for the average yearly salary income in Mexico is $17,000, right? We double that, and you're like at what? Not even at 50,000, right? That's 26, 20, 30, and $34,000. So your $50,000 is way more than the average salary, right? So you'll be living large at 50,000 a year. Okay, if you wanted to live a little bit less large, you could do 40,000, and maybe make that date come even sooner, right? So now you're like about halfway through 2025, you can retire, right? So what exactly? I live off of a little as I live off of so little because I chose to and love the freedom, exactly. And so BTC Backpacker. Yeah, less is more for sure, but especially if you've already taught yourself to live well beyond your means. Sorry, well below your means, then your moon date can come even sooner. And when you've actually already mooned, then you'll be able to stack to keep your stack even longer, right? So let's just say for S's and giggles, we'll do 35,000 a year. Living in Mexico, right? And oops, I reset the whole thing. Dang it. Sorry, guys. 35,000 is 64. Was it 64? Yeah, 64.8. 64.8. And yeah, the interest rate, we'll just make that 11. for inflation, I mean. Okay. So, yeah. Oh, at the end of 2024, if you're expected to only spend about $35,000 a year, right? And I'm telling you, you can live pretty well in countries with 35,000 a year, you know? BTC Backpacker says, but I don't have one BTC. Well, keep stacking, you know? Let's do with less than one BTC, okay? How about half a Bitcoin, 0.5 Bitcoin? Total freedom is priceless to me compared to any material possession. Exactly. Okay. This is just motivation, guys. Because you could be pretty damn close. Look at with just half a Bitcoin. If you're gonna rough it and only only double the annual salary of a Mexican citizen, right? And you go for 35,000 a year, then you can still retire in 2026 with just half a Bitcoin. It's freaking wild. Isn't that crazy? Like, when you think about retirement, this day and age, you're thinking, shoot, I'm gonna work my whole life into my golden years, whatever you call it, golden hours, golden years, and I'm still not gonna have enough. I'm gonna have to work till my dying day, right? And you flip that around, you look at something like this, right? And if it's not dude, it's like a year away. No, 2 years away. 2 years away, right? 2 years. Could you fathom the potential of retiring 2 years from now, right? Could you not retire in 2 years and maybe like stack a little harder and get like, I don't know, 2/3 of a Bitcoin, 0.75 Bitcoin, right? And yeah, it pushes your date forward to this year. Sorry, to next year. But instead of doing that, maybe you'll go with maybe a little bit more lavish lifestyle here. You go back to the 50,000, right? And it's still 2026, right? Just because you stack a little harder, okay? Number bias, right? Yeah, it's true. But this is in terms of dollars. In terms of whatever country you end up in, it could be different, right? But still, it's very cool to see that there's like a light at the end of the tunnel, right? And another thing that this website might not account for is I don't know the potential for Bitcoin now that the halving has happened, that these ETFs are still buying like crazy. Yeah, it's gonna go crazy. Okay, so we'll come back. Let's pick a specific thing so that we can come back and analyze it again. So I'm gonna reset this. I'm gonna reset this, and we're gonna keep the numbers the same. So $100,000 is what you want to retire with. 2.2 annual inflation, and we're going to keep the conservative 34.4 annual Bitcoin appreciation rate, and 1 Bitcoin, just exactly the default, okay? And with exactly the default, it's saying, it's saying 1035, okay? What I might start doing is start to track this date with these standard numbers, okay? And just see if the date is getting shorter, if we're getting closer to the date just by holding the Bitcoin. We're not even going to add more to it, okay? Just by holding 1 Bitcoin or getting to 1 Bitcoin. Hard Huddle says 0.001 BTC in Philippines. Pesos is huge. Oh, yeah, I bet. Right, so like, let's for example, like this. Here we go. Okay, look at average. What's it? This one. Average salary. Yeah, so what's the Philippines? Philippines average salary. Okay. Average salary in the Philippines is about 9,000. Oh, is that per year? Yearly. Yeah, yearly salary. Average yearly salary. Average yearly salary in the monthly salary in the Philippines is $800 USD. Okay. So $800 times 12 months, $9,600 dollars, right? That's the average salary for the year, right? 9,600. We take that average salary, right? We double it. We'll say $18,000 is what you want so you can live a good life, twice as much as one person makes in the Philippines. Everything else staying the same. You're at 1 Bitcoin. You can retire in 2 years, right? It's freaking wild, dude. That's so crazy. That's so crazy, right? I might slow down my stacking after a specific amount, says Carlos Jaramillo. Yeah, exactly. Right, Roman, I'm gonna keep stacking as much as possible forever and not worry about the exact amount of BTC I got. Just keep accumulating the hardest money that's ever existed. I think that's the right option, dude. Because even when you hit your quote unquote moon date, and you decide to go where you're gonna go and live out the rest of your days or whatever, you can still run a business. You can still do things. You can just still do productive things. Like you still decide to run a business. You can still decide to work, right? And actually work in a field that you enjoy working, right? Or start a company or start a business, right? And that will be profitable, hopefully. And that profit you can just continue to stack, right? And maybe not even tap into your resources, right? But you have that Bitcoin's going to continue to appreciate over time. Okay. All right. So that is why we stack. That's a long episode, a long way to go about it. But there's only one thing. We got to jump into our stack recap next, guys. Let's do that real quick. Stack recap, because we don't only talk about stacking sats. We stack it here every day, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. Let's check out our current stack. Okay, so in 2024, we're up about 28.75%. And for the lifespan of the show, we're up about 73%. Okay. Oh, you know what we should do here? So let's see what we have here on the show. We have 0.15. We're going to take 0.155. Okay. 0.155. How long will it take the Stack Sats show to retire? 0.155. The Stack Sats show will take. We're going to retire in Mexico, guys. I'm going to go 50,000. Okay. It will take the Stack Sats show. Oh shoot! With the little Stack Sats show retire in 2042, baby. I'm not going to make it. Just kidding. Is 440 USD? Yeah, dude, it's crazy, right? Yeah, and El Salvador is also about 440 USD. It's pretty crazy. Sorry, 4,400 USD. Okay, so for our show stack, our show is gonna retire in 2042. But we're gonna keep stacking, and we'll come back and check on this date to see when the show is gonna retire. Okay, all right. For our 100 stacks challenge, I bought the cheap lines this weekend because I'm waiting for payday and I'm running low on cash. But I got a little extra boost a couple days ago because I sold some stuff. So we're back in action. I'm gonna let you guys choose between buying line number 12 or line number 66. And our whole stack, even though we were down about minus 8% here, we're back up to minus 2%. And the trend is gonna keep going up, so no worries. Okay. That is the stack recap. And now that we know how much Bitcoin we're going to buy, there's only one thing left to do. And that is, it's time to stack some sats. All right. For the normal DCA normal DCA for the show, we're gonna buy $20 worth of Bitcoin. $20 worth of Bitcoin today. Get this preview going. Preview. There it is. Take a screenshot. Copy this screenshot for episode number. What episode is this? Today's episode 204. Dang. Episode 204. And we're buying $20 worth of Bitcoin right now. Let's go. We're buying $20 worth of Bitcoin for the Bitcoin show, for the Stack Sats show. Here we go. All right, we'll let it cook. Go through. It went through. Let's go. And since right now, Swan is doing no fees on your first or your next $10,000 worth of Bitcoin buys, that we're able to stack an additional 297 sats today on that purchase. It's pretty damn awesome. We'll take it. We'll take it. All right. Now it's time for the survey, for the poll of today. Do we buy the $12 line, or do we buy the $66 line? The people get to decide. You are the people. The people's voice must be heard. Vote. Do you think we should stack the $12 line or the $66 line? I put a poll up in the chat. Vote, and I will do what you guys say. The people must speak. I'm a man of the people. Do we stack $12 today, or do we stack $66? Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Right? Is this the top? Is this the bottom? What do you think? Put it in the chat. Vote, and we'll get this sorted out. Okay, well, it's settling. You should join my man. You should join him, man. Who's not on Discord? Let's see. McLovin, dude, you need to join the Stacker Lounge on the 10th of May. Yeah, McLovin, we have a Discord server. I don't know if you're into Discord. You know. There it is. We're in there. It's super chill in there. It's not a lot of traffic. It's just us hanging out. And on May 10th. Is it May 10th? A second Friday of each month, we're gonna do a Stacker Lounge episode where you guys get to be in the Discord and talk to each other and myself, and that'll be broadcast over the airwaves here on the show. That'll be just us hanging out, talking about Bitcoin, talking about experiences, the latest Bitcoin intel, the latest Bitcoin news from each other, from other Bitcoiners, right? Not from the main guys talking stuff all over the internet, but just from regular people that stack, just regular stackers. Mexico is average $17,000 average salary a year. Yeah, dude, it's crazy, right? It's crazy. And I've been to Mexico a bunch of times. I spent like a couple of months in Mexico City a long time ago when I was youngish. And man, it's a beautiful city. It's got a lot of cool things to do. People are awesome, and the whole city just feels like there's passion about stuff. Like people are passionate about what they do. Yeah, people that are passionate about music, people that are passionate about art, people that are passionate about making food. And if I could describe Mexico City or Mexico in general, but Mexico City more than anything else, with one word, it would be passion. Passion for stuff. It's passion not for stuff, but passion for whatever, right? So it's a cool place to be. It's a cool it's a different vibe than I'm too busy to talk to anybody. I need to make that money so I can pay my mortgage, because otherwise I'm gonna get evicted, right? That's like not the vibe you get there. All right, so the people have spoken and the votes are about to end. I'm gonna end the poll. There it is, just like that. The people have decided. Today, we're gonna stack the $66 line. Okay, so we know how much we need to buy. Let's go buy it. Here we go. Bitcoin. Give me some. Boom. $66. We get this preview going. Preview. There it is. I got the preview. Bringing it back to show you guys the actual purchase. Here we go. Buying Bitcoin. $66 for line number 66. It's going. It's going. It's going. Bam! And just like that, we've accumulated another stack of sats. How much was that? 98,981 Satoshis. We're able to accumulate an extra 980 Satoshis because we didn't pay any fees. And just like that, there's nothing else left to do, guys. Just chill. Just chill. And you know what? I'm not even gonna update the spreadsheets live during the show anymore. I will show you guys the upsheets, the spreadsheets for at the stack recaps. That way we're not spending too much time just kind of typing on the screen and updating the spreadsheet. Okay, so America is a $50,000 average salary per year. Dude, who can live off of that? Who can live off of $59,000 a year? That's so sad. You know? Right? People can't afford a home at that salary. Right? That's just incredible. We're really in a bad spot, guys. We're in a bad situation. Anybody that doesn't understand Bitcoin right now is in a bad situation. Time to stack and chill, that's right. Stack and chill. Stack and find other ways to make money to stack even harder. That's probably more accurate at this point. Man, it's so crazy. So crazy. All right, we're going to tap into the Q&A section real quick in case anybody has any questions, any comments. If you're new here, thanks for tuning in. My name is Roman Castro. I sit here and talk about Bitcoin in a beginner-friendly way. If you have a friend, a family member that you've been trying to orange pill for the past couple of years, the past couple of months, the past couple of weeks, and you just can't get through, you can't make that breakthrough, and you want to maybe have somebody on the internet orange pill them, right? Bring them in here. Let me know that they're watching. Let me know what their name is, and I'll talk to them directly by name and try to explain to them Bitcoin in whatever way that seems to be more appealing to them, right? So if they're struggling to make payments, we could go that angle, right? If they're more of a anti-government / sovereignty, then we can go that angle, right? We can go the mathematics angle. We can go the freedom, the peace angle, whatever they need, right? Whatever motivation they may have. Andrew says, sorry, I had to leave to get some sleep. All right, have a good one, Andrew. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Very cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Stack Sats Show. It's time. Oh, it's time to bring in that. Time to bring in that track. You know what track I'm talking about? The track to tuck in Andrew. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for jumping on here, Carlos. Hope everything is well with you. BTC Backpacker in the house. Thanks for tuning in. Say hi to the family. McLovin in the house. Leonard, what up, Leonard? We need to do lunch soon. Hard Huddle in the house. Thanks for tuning in. We got who else in here? Who else in here? We get there he is, Garrett in the house. Thanks for tuning in. Also, Mr. Android. Hope this schedule works out a little bit better for you guys. It seems to be doing pretty good for me. I'm kind of digging it. Carl Black in the house. Thanks for tuning in, Carl. Hope you guys are still stacking. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. But until then, remember, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking. Later, guys. 1,000 spotties, 1,000 sats. Let's go.